Any
That's
more
good.
questions?
Oh yeah. Can you tell us more about like behind the scenes about CW? Like behind the scenes that fans don't know about. You know
Well,
what I mean?
let's see.
If there's anything else
Well,
you've been missing that fans
I'm
don't
gonna
know
be
about.
honest with you. You know, you don't see everything. Like in a lot of wrestling, this is true. You know, you don't
Like
see
it
everything
was
out
it
there.
real, fake? The fans wants to know.
Um, all right.
Okay.
I know there's lots of you who wanna know who the hell Red Demon is and who Jason is and who all these people are. But I'm not gonna give that away if that's what you're asking. Okay. That's matter of fact, that's secret theft. You know, they wear those masks to protect their identity.
Yeah,
You
for a
know,
reason like Rey Mysterio.
exactly. They want to hide their identity. They don't want you to know. You know, it's not because they're being rude or anything. It's just that they, you know, being on YouTube, they don't want certain people viewing this. You know, it's not because they're embarrassed. Because you know, you just don't want to be bothered by fans. You know, all the time.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, but behind the scenes, you know, um, the owner Dennis Cage, he's very good. He's he's very serious and passionate about this thing. Um, he's not that strict, but he is a little bit. You know, he gives a lot of opportunities.
How is Dennis K different than Mr. McMahon from
I would say
WWE?
he's a whole lot different because if you think about it, Adrian was made champion his very first match. I don't think Vince McMahon would make that possible. I don't even think Adrian would stand a chance in WWE.
Especially
To be
like
honest,
WWE is right now.
WWE, you know, it's a lot of politics. I'm not gonna get into that because I've never been there. I can't
Yeah,
really say anything about
true.
it. But CW, it works fine. It works just perfect. You know, Dennis Cage gives all the opportunities. You know, to the people who deserve it, if you deserve it, you know. And I'm gonna use Rob Styles as an example. He could have had a lot of more accomplishments in CW if he would have sticked around, if he would have been around. Dennis Cage, you know, he would talk to Rob Styles, be like, "You're missing out on the shows. We want to use you a whole lot more. We want to make you champion one day, you know." But for some reason, that guy, he wasn't around a whole lot. Maybe he had his own reasons. We don't know. We weren't asking. But, you know, we just asked him if you want to wrestle. You know, you want to be made champion. You need to earn it. You know, and it's backyard wrestling. It's all about paying your dues before you go on
Yeah.
to the pros. So yeah, Dennis Cage. It's a fair businessman, if you ask me. You know, this ain't a real business. It's just backyard wrestling, but he takes it serious. We all do, and we all work hard for this. Even though you're saying, well, it's backyard wrestling. I mean, what are you really gonna do for it? But we acted as if it's a real organization. APG, excuse me, Adrian. You know, he would come all the way from his hometown. You know, he's not even from Laredo. He resigns. He lives in Rio Bravo.
Wow.
He comes all the way in the morning, I might add, because we would film at 10, 11 in the morning. You know, he will come before going to college and LCC. He will come over here, do a taping, you know, of CEW. He will go back to college, and then after his class, he will come back. Most of the time, he will even miss classes just to do tapings for CW, and that shows me that he has the commitment for it. You know, this is just backyard, and you prefer to do a backyard taping than to go to class. That just proves to me that you love it.
Yeah, and you're
You know,
loyal.
he's very passionate about it, even though it might not seem, because he's kind of a quiet individual. You know,
Yeah.
in and out of the scenes. Um, but yeah, he really has a thing for it. You can hardly see it probably, but yeah, I noticed that he has, you know, he has what it takes to be in this business. You know, some people argue, no, Adrian, I don't see him as a future, you know, wrestler. But if he wanted to go to training, you know, I would say go for it. Why not? You know, I'm in training. Dennis Cage is in training. Adrian is probably a little bit too busy right now living his life, but You know, if he ever wanted to do this as a pro, as a living, I would, support him. Thumbs up, why not?
as the
I
other
can see
wrestlers too.
how you're committed. And the same thing goes for any other wrestler that has come and gone from CW. APJ, if he wants to join the pros, I say he has whatever it takes. The same thing for other wrestlers. So that's how it works. It's real simple. Sometimes we will wrestle in the cold and we can care less about the weather. We're freezing. The cameraman is freezing his hand, but we kept going. We kept going just to perform for our fans on YouTube, because this is what we love to do. It's wrestling, whether it's in a ring or in a backyard, in a trampoline, in a bed. It doesn't matter. We do this because we love it.
Uh, and they always question. Everybody wants to tell you what's D to this stand for, or it's just letters.
Well,
It's like CM Punk.
this is how it all started, actually. You know how first I had the Chris Jevons gimmick of me being Canadian. I'll get back to that in a while as to why I chose that name, but D2 this, it's just something that I use as a username on a website, because I was in a website where you can chat, and I was just thinking of a username, and it came out to be D2 the DIZ. And back then I wasn't called D2 DIZ. That was in 2008. But then in 2010, I was thinking of a name, to use for my wrestling, and I looked at that site, and I was online using that site, and I saw that my username was D2 the DIZ, and I removed the DIZ, obviously, and I used D2 DIZ, and I guess D2 is for my real name, Desi Dave. Desi being my first name, Dave being my last name, and this is just something that sounds unique, special. It doesn't sound like her birth name. It doesn't, it's something that no one's gonna have, so why not? It's something unique and something special. I mean, what are the chances of me getting sued for, copyright that name,
Yeah. Let me ask you one more last question, if you don't mind, D2.
Yeah.
Desi.
Yeah.
Tell us about your last show, CW finale.
Oh, CW finale, it was awesome. That night was on the last day of 2010, December 31st. It was exciting. We had it all started with Dennis Cage and myself behind the scenes. Like a few weeks before the event, we have been discussing the fact that we're gonna have to stop backyard wrestling because we're about to go pro. We're about to go in training, with TCR, back then called XNW. So we were gonna start going pro, So we can't do the backyard thing anymore. So let's have a CW finale, our last show of CW, So we decided on booking the 2 championships to be on the line, So we set the event. We called up, Adrian, and we communicated with him on Facebook, asking him, do you want to join the CW finale? We kind of need you for the CW finale, and he was right down with it, he was like, yeah, I'll be there for your last show, So yeah, we booked them pretty fast. We sat down with Adrian, and me and Dennis Cage sat down with him. We decided what we were going to do for the show, as because Adrian got here that day, and we were trying to figure out what matches to have, and we decided, to finish the feud between me and Adrian. We were kind of, discussing what kind of match, and it took us a while to decide what match, and we finally decided to just throw in a good old-fashioned false count anywhere. Yeah, so we just went out there, cut the promo in the beginning, but, the best moment of that show is the main event. I'm not in the main event. Obviously, it was Dennis Cage versus Jason for the CW championship. You know, the last championship match of CW. During that match it turned into 2011. The match during that match between Jason and Dennis Cage for the CW title, the clock hit 12 and it turned into New Year's Day. You know, so during that match it was 12 o'clock midnight, and I think the match it ended up finishing like at 12:30 or sometime a little bit before after 1, I'm not sure, but it was a great match, you know. And it's not the first time we had ever wrestled that time, because we had, you know, other shows where, you know, it was just one match that we just decided, you know, like after my graduation party in 2009, we came with Adrian to the backyard and we did a triple threat match, and it was like at 1:30. You know, we had a triple threat match just for fun. You know, it wasn't for a CW YouTube show. It was just for fun. We taped it just to look back at it in the future so we could enjoy that match, you know. We also had a singles match that night, you know, that day. It was awesome. It was like a just random wrestling, you know, non-scripted, non-planned. And that's how I like it, you know. Just throw yourself out there, do whatever you want to do, and just have fun with it, you know.
Oh, so thank you, DIZ, to having us here, our interview. So thank you, DIZ.
You're very welcome.
Maybe next time we have on our interview, if you don't mind.
Yeah, we'll be fine with that.
Yeah, so thank you. Thank you.
It's been
Bye.
an honor.
Yeah.